Hi everybody, today we're going to talk about Manipur. Manipur has for long been an enduring theatre for a lot. Insurgency, sorrow, loss, denial, indifference, impunity, trauma, and unspeakable violence against men, women and children. Now the 2023 violence serves as a bloody reminder that conflicts don't really go away and peace should never be taken for granted. This violence, mind you, has come after a period of calm, of relative calm for a state that is part home to one of the oldest insurgencies in South Asia. My name is Anubha Bhonsle. I am the founder of Newsworthy, and I have spent many years of my reporting life in Manipur unpacking the many contradictions and complexities that mark this state. This video, I realize, is much delayed. So I seek both your pardon but also your patience here, because I'm going to attempt to explain why Manipur, a land that is so beautiful, fragile and complex, is seeing such monstrosity. With the help of another colleague, Angana Chakravarti, who's back in Manipur at the moment, we will explain why nearly 3 months in, more than 130 people dead, 300 plus injured, the spectre of things going bad still remains. And that too in a state that is heavily militarized. I'm going to begin with the horrific violence against women. For some incidents, there are videos to shake our conscience. Others, as brutal, have just FIRs. At last count, collating all the media reports, which by themselves are also an undercount, there have been at least 4 cases of sexual violence. The perpetrators, according to the FIRs that are now finally in public domain, are mostly unknown people in at least 3 cases where large mobs of men and even women were involved. In one FIR, Manipur's much revered Meera Paibis have been named. Meera Paibi means torchbearers or essentially guardians of civil society. They are Meitei women and are being accused of handing over one Kuki woman to armed men. There has been no statement that can be considered as an official one on behalf of the Meera Paibis, but the broader sentiment here is that they were simply protecting their land or people. Now, in some ways, this for me is a stark reminder of how sharply the ethnic violence has ravaged the state. There are old fault lines and old wounds that are at the heart of this violence, but there is also fresh ignorance, arrogance, complicity, and apathy at play here. You've heard about these 2 communities being spoken about again and again, Meiteis and Kukis. Now, the major ethnic groups in Manipur also include the Nagas. The fact that we're not hearing about them is also important, and perhaps we will talk about it in a different video. The Meiteis live in the valley. They're about 60% of the population and live on about 10% of the land. They practice Hinduism, but there is a strong revival of Sanamahism. It's an older religion before Hinduism. The hills are out of bounds for the Meiteis. I'm going to explain just why a little ahead. In the hills live the tribes, 40% of the total population, in 90% of the land, so the area is sparsely populated. It has long stretches of forest, both protected and reserved. These are different things, mind you. Within the Naga umbrella and the Kuki umbrella, there are many different tribes. Almost all of them are Christians. There are some Catholic, but mostly Protestants. The thing to remember here is that these are not all homogeneous groupings, and the fault lines aren't just valley versus the hills, or Meiteis versus the Kukis, or Meiteis versus the Nagas, but also Nagas versus the Kukis, or the Kuki Zomis, and more. There is a larger Zo umbrella under which the Kuki Zomi tribes fall. They have a presence in India, in Myanmar, and parts of Bangladesh even. This is a slightly simplistic statement, but tribal bonds are strong, and sometimes more so with tribes that are beyond borders, let's say in Myanmar, than to one that is living just kilometers from them. So geography, ethnicity, and religion to some very limited extent are fault lines dividing hill and valley, or are being used to divide. There are also two more fault lines: political power and land administration. Now, the majority community, the valley-based Meiteis, wield more political influence than any other group in the state. They represent 40 out of the 60 assembly seats, while the hills have 20 seats. Of the 12 chief ministers Manipur has so far seen, only 2 have been tribal. The present chief minister, Biren Singh, is a Meitei. Manipur's tribes have long alleged that this political dominance leads to neglect in their development. Now, another fault line is land administration. It varies within Manipur. It varies even among tribes in the hills. This goes back to Manipur's merger into the Indian Union in 1949, a traumatic affair that birthed some of the insurgent movements. Now, India continued the British approach of administering land differently in the valley compared to that in the hills, which is to say, land in the hills is protected. Meiteis can't buy property there. This has contributed to a sense of insecurity, of sometimes being under siege. In the hills, land administrative patterns can also differ between the Kuki and the Naga villages. For instance, in Kuki villages, the tribal chief owns the village in a sense, and the rest of the villagers are landless, so to speak. These villages also tend to spill and proliferate. In Naga villages, land ownership is more often evenly distributed. So I'm slightly paraphrasing the well-known scholar Ellam Khangpyang when I say in Manipur, the hill tribes and the valley people live together separately. These fault lines are vital to understand the violence of the last 82 days as of July 24th, and to look back and see the signs that were leading up to this. Number one, there has been a consistent provocative narrative that has made the Kukis uncomfortable. That they are illegal migrants, they are refugees, they're not from Manipur. This has been said, implied in different ways. Remember, India has seen people coming in from Myanmar to the states of Manipur and Mizoram after the military coup. The Kuki Zomi tribes of Manipur have strong kinship with tribes in Mizoram, but also across the border in Myanmar. India, remember, does not have an official refugee policy. So Mizoram welcomed people from Myanmar, almost defying the center. In a way, Manipur did not do that exactly. Number two, valley groups and Naba groups have both been alleging that there has been an increase in the number of unrecognized villages. Both have been aggressively demanding an NRC or an official register of Indian citizens in the recent past. Number three, just like the Kukis are mocked for being illegal migrants, Meiteis have often been provoked that their large kingdom, historically speaking, is only a few hundred miles, alluding to the fact that they can't buy land beyond their oval-shaped valley. Number four, the Meiteis have had a long-standing demand to be included in the list of scheduled tribes. Though politically dominant and politically powerful, they often claim that they would be reduced in their own ancestral land because of this influx. When the High Court on April 19th, while hearing a petition on this matter, that is the inclusion in the ST list, gave a directive, it was interpreted on both sides with fear or confidence, as the case may be. The fact is, yes, state governments do have a role in adding communities to the list of scheduled tribes, but that role is limited and it takes long and it goes through Parliament. But no one explained, no one did any outreach, no one was perhaps interested. There were more clear warning signs that it was time to put things in order. The Chief Minister could not attend an inauguration on the 28th of April after a facility he was to inaugurate was set on fire, allegedly by the Kukis. Remember, this is BJP Chief Minister Biren Singh's second tenure, and some say it's a more assured one, a more aggressive one. I say this anecdotally, but the illegal migrant narrative has become stronger, more abusive, and seemingly targeted. Nevertheless, some would say it's not entirely unfounded for a government to consider challenges that are posed by incoming refugees. But in his second term, Biren Singh has intensified crackdowns on poppy cultivation, which is linked to the drug trade. This issue has often been concentrated in Kuki areas, where, as I explained earlier, there are peculiar landholding patterns that have contributed to the problem. But state officials did speak to Angana last month that the drug issue actually extends beyond the hills and involves individuals from the valley as well. Number 4 have been evictions. They've been in focus, especially of Kuki tribal village that was allegedly encroaching on a protected forest. I want to add some context here. In Manipur, there are 59 reserved and protected forests. Reserved forests allow only activities that are permitted by forest authorities, while protected forests allow existing inhabitants to continue with all activities except the ones that are prohibited by the authorities, and this includes the establishment of new villages. Kuki groups argue that setting up new villages is part of their customs. Now, yes, evictions have occurred, adding to a sense of disappointment, perhaps persecution. But I'd point you to an article by Pradeep Fanjubam. He's one of Manipur's most respected journalists, and he gives a breakdown of evictions since 2015. 24 villages, only one has been Kuki. So when on May 2nd, a rally by the All Tribal Student Union of Manipur, an umbrella body of several tribal student organizations, which means Nagas and Kukis and more, was taken out against the Maiti demand for the ST tag, it played on many insecurities, but mostly those of Maitis and Kukis. As it was concluding, there was a rumor about a Kuki war memorial being burned by Maitis that gained life. Both sides went on a rampage. It felt that they almost had a free run. The government was conspicuous by its absence. It did very little to control the violence till almost the next day, on May 4th, when a shoot-at-sight order was given and the center took over the state's law and order, invoking Article 355 of the Constitution. Remember, it's the same day 3 young women were paraded naked and one of them allegedly gang-raped. It is being alleged that this was a revenge response to a fake information about a Maiti woman's rape and alleged murder. I'll stop here in this video. In the next one, we'll keep the focus on accountability, which lies solely with the state government, which has allowed arms and civilian armed personnel to move around with impunity. If you're still listening, I'd really urge you to please share this video. It is by no account the full story of Manipur, but it has many missing pieces and context that help you get a sense of what's really at stake here. If you've been watching, thank you for all your time and your attention.